Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiman and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Berserk chapter 381. So what did I think about this week's chapter? To be quite honest with you guys, I thought this week's chapter was good. I thought it was a good chapter to set up what's to come. I didn't think it was like exceptional, but I do think there was a bunch of fascinating little plot threads that were developed in this chapter that are going to be pretty crucial, I think, going forward, especially towards Guts' character development and what he's going to be doing, because as you can see by the title of this review, he has been banished. And what does that exactly mean? I'll get to it in a little bit. Now, before I go any farther with this chapter review, I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Berserk as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's chapter. So this chapter came around 3 months after the last one, which is not that big of a wait. So thankfully, Studio Gaga was able to put out this chapter, and the chapter starts out right where we left off, which we catch up with Farnese, Roderick, and Salat, and they're just kind of talking about like the aftermath of everything, you know, all the enemies being defeated. Salat is like, wow, all these generals got taken down, and we see that the Giga Chad Roderick himself obviously glaces our queen, you know, Farnese, and he's like, you know, you did a fantastic job, Farnese. I'm so proud of you. And you see Farnese very happy about it, you know. And this was me, like, reading the chapter. I was like, oh man, that's right. You put some respect in our girl, because Farnese did something that was very amazing. I mean, she has been building up to this caliber of spells, and now she's been able to pretty much project a whole barrier, similar to how Shirky can do it. And you know, I'm sure that Shirky will be proud once she sees what Farnese has been doing. And it's just great seeing, you know, Farnese get this great, what's the word I'm looking for? Very proud moment, I guess you could say. You know, she feels very contempt at the fact that she was able to be largely a big help when it came to this battle. And as all that is happening, we also see that as everything gets getting resolved, we see that Salat is talking about like how apparently all these people are showing up, and these people there, it's like, hey, everybody be quiet. And we see that pretty much as these people are being shown is a bunch of like monks, because they're like, because Serpico and Roderick is like, who are these people? Are these like monks? And we see that they're being accompanied by Guts, or they're pretty much, they have Guts in handcuffs, and they're all kind of like chilling right behind Guts. And everybody's like, whoa, what's going on? Because like obviously they think that they're gonna like cast a spell on Guts or something like that. And as pretty much Daiba confirms, he's like, listen, these people are not just like monks and stuff. Like, these are sorcerers. And we see that Salat even says like, hey, these people are very highly regarded. You cannot just come up to them and try to converse with them. This is like way above your pay grade. In other words, he's like, only like the kings and like the generals and them can like even speak to them. Like, you gotta be at best behaved. Don't cause a scene or anything. And everybody's like, oh man, I gotta chill out. And obviously, as all that is happening, we see that pretty much who is gonna be the idiot that pretty much says, I'm gonna talk to them and all that. Isidro. Isidro shows up and he's like, hey, what's up with you guys? You guys are talking to Guts? Like, nah, like, I'm not gonna let that slide, homies. And obviously, very comedic. Obviously, Isidro is just kind of like the comedic relief, even like with these very tense moments. And he kind of gets discarded. They just kind of ignored him. It's like, get this fool out of here. But continuing with the actual main thread of the chapter, which was that pretty much as we see that the king is like, who is this man? Like, who is this like random random guy with one arm? Like, why is he even like why is he like in chains and stuff? Like, is he a prisoner or something? And we see that pretty much the Daiba starts talking. It's like, this guy is the reason that this entire catastrophe happened in our city. And he pretty much just spills the beans where he's like, listen, this guy has been marked. This mark pretty much attracts all these monsters and all these entities, and he's being cursed. Like, and he's pretty much talking about the brand of sacrifice and why not. And he pretty much just lays it to the entirety of the room. He's like, this guy is a threat, or he's more of a, he attracts monsters. Because the big takeaway after they defeated like all these monsters was that, okay, if the Falcon himself shows up, we're all screwed. Like, there's no way we can defeat it. And which is true. I mean, if Griffith does show up, they're all screwed. Like, nobody's walking out unscathed out of this battle. So they're pretty much worried, and they're like, oh my god, like, what is this guy doing here? Like, why is he even here? Like, get him out of here. He's a big threat. Like, the king himself is saying that to Daiba, and Daiba, like I said, he was explaining the whole situation. He's like, this guy has been cursed. He needs to be like, I'm just letting you guys know, like, Whether what you want to do with him is up to you. So I'm just telling you guys everything. And we see that the king eventually, he's like, oh, what do we want to do with this guy? I want you to like either execute him, take him away. What's a fitting punishment? And as all that is happening, we see that we catch up also with Shirke. We see a little bit of what she's been up to, and not much has really been happening with her. She's pretty much still been like asleep. And we see that earlier in the chapter, also an important note that I forgot to mention was that as Guts has been like he's still in his depressed mode. You know, he's still kind of in despair. It seemed like what's her name, Farnese, was trying to communicate to him through like telepathy and why not like through a spell, because they're all thinking like, oh, Guts is under a spell. And we see that she kind of tries to enter his mind, but like nothing really comes out of it. But that was an important moment I wanted to mention. But like I was saying with Shirke, she's still unconscious, and we see that Morta is there, my favorite witch girl. I mean, the baddie herself of the series, right? But in all seriousness, she's there, and she's like, wow, you really knocked out, huh? And she's like, you really cheeky. And what I can interpret from that is that I believe that everybody else thinks that she's just like, she got knocked out because she was trying to cast the barrier, and that eventually knocked her out. When in reality, like, I'm sure, like, we all know that she's trying to find Casca, and she went all the way to like Falconia through her, you know, astral form and, you know, in her essence. But I don't believe anybody else knows that. I think that only she would know. Maybe Farnese, if I remember correctly, they intercepted, but I don't even think she knows. I think that this is like a secret mission. I think Morta has enough insight to know that she's like, okay, Shirke is not just tired and sleeping. Like, she's actually like doing something. And she's quite 100% correct, because like we saw in the previous chapter, she went into her astral form into Falconia, which I'm sure will be very important and eventually catching up with Casca and whatnot. And how we end the chapter is we actually see the aftermath of the whole Isidro fiasco, where pretty much Guts and... before I forget, an important moment was that as all this is happening, when he gets like tarnished, like when Guts gets exiled, pretty much, Salad is like, hey, if you're gonna exile him, like, Wu shall follow. And we see his two companions, like the Baharaga, I believe they're called, they're right behind Salad, and they're like, okay, we'll follow you. We will follow you, my prince. And we see that pretty much Salad, because Salad is like, I was gonna use Guts as like for battle and why not, but if he's at this state, he's like useless right now. We can't use him as a military combatant. So I shall follow Guts though, because I think Salad is bright enough to know that Guts is a very important person when it comes to this final battle with the Falcon, which obviously he is. I mean, he will be in my opinion, one of the most detrimental people to taking down Griffith. I mean, besides being the MC and why not, but I think that's very important. And we see that Salad is like, I shall follow him, and follow him he does, because what happens is that as Guts gets exiled, we see that Daiba's there, we see Isidro following them from afar. But yeah, we see that pretty much Guts has been exiled from the Kushan Empire. Where exactly is he going? We don't know, because we just see a bunch of monks following him. Daiba's with him because Daiba's coming with Guts as well. Salad is going with Guts. And they're all following a path. We don't know exactly where they're going. But the king did say, like, get him as far as across the world from us as you can. So I don't exactly know what that means. Are they just going to kick him out, like, to the outskirts of, like, the Kushan Empire, like, in the middle of nowhere? Or are they actually going to go in a boat and like get him out of here? Whatever the case, this is a very precarious situation for Guts, because right now he's separated once again. He's in despair still, and he does not look well. I mean, he looks very... I mean, what else can I say? He looks just absolutely depressed, and I don't blame him. I mean, everything that's happened to him. But we see that pretty much the chapter ends where he's pretty much being kicked out of the Kushan Empire. And as for the rest of the party, you know, Farnese, Serpico, Roderick, and them, they seem to be staying there because they can't really escape. Because they're, you know, war prisoners and whatnot. They're refugees. So I'm wondering how that's going to play out and what the conflict's going to go. Because obviously they're not going to just let Guts get out of there and let him be by himself. They're going to try to follow him. How exactly they're going to do that, I don't know. But I do know that in 2 weeks from now, we'll get a new chapter. And I can't wait for that. So stay tuned for that. Now, with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Berserk, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.